Now to use XPath to manipulate our XML documents, we need to first of all know what kind of nodes can we get. Now we already know XPath is a language for locating the nodes in a document tree. So let's look at the various nodes that we can address, identify, and manipulate using XPath. The first one is the root node. The second one is the element node. And I'm just going to list these and then we'll go back and look at them and kind of show them to you graphically. The text node, number 3. Number 4 is the attribute node, the comment node, the processing instruction node, and then finally the namespace node. Now we've talked about all of these so far in the course, but let's kind of take a look at them as compared to an actual XML file and map them out for you. First up, let's talk about the root node. Now this is very interesting. You would think that the root node would refer to people here. And in a way it does, okay? And this is getting really too technical, but make sure you understand this because some people will jump on you about this. It's entirely possible or entirely plausible for you to think of this root node as this people root node, but in reality, root node means the entire XML document. And you'll see why, and I'll explain that when we actually use XPath in just a little while. But root node means, hey, the XML document itself, that's the starting point. I'll always start there when I go through the tree looking for whatever it is that you're telling me to look for. An element node is, for example, right here. This husband employed equals yes, that's an element node. Obviously, wife is an element. Any problems with that? Age? All of this information is an element. So this tells me that if I want to find the wife node, then I'm looking for this particular element. The text node, this is not really a big surprise, is the text inside the element. So in this case, Janet obviously is our text, right? Down here, Matt is our text. So we can return the text once we find the particular node. Then, not a tough one, attribute node. Notice we're talking about a particular attribute. And notice here's an attribute inside the husband tag. Here it is down here in this husband tag. So if we want to identify the attribute inside a particular tag, that's how we're going to take care of that. Now, the comment node, we've already talked about commenting in XML files. Do understand that, and this goes back to this explanation of the root node. Since the root node, okay, let me draw a line to it. Since the root node is the entire document, they had to kind of do some default settings in XPath. As it turns out, XPath is not going to automatically see the comment node, the processing instruction node, or the namespace node in the tree structure as it parses down through the tree. We're going to have to tell it, for example, right here at the top, this is our processing instruction node for this particular XML document. If we want XPath to recognize this or to report on it or do anything with it, we're going to have to use the processing instruction node to tell it, hey, I'm looking specifically for the processing instruction node. Same thing for the namespace node. So if you want to look for those, you'll have to tell XPath I'm looking for those individual items. Now, out of these 7 items, we can describe a complete XML document. So that's what's going to happen with XPath. We are simply going to use the XPath language to identify whichever piece of these nodes that we're looking for and then take the appropriate transaction or transformational action based on either the existence of this node, the value of that node. We can do all kinds of things. We can do if statements and so forth. So you'll see how we're going to put this actually into practice in upcoming videos.